I'm afraid my videos start out with just the top of my head showing while I'm working on the keyboard to get all the little details in. So what I'm doing today is I'm practicing live streaming and storing this. And so I thought I'd choose something a little different and talk about the book that just came out called Lutheran Christina. And if you're familiar with our family, you know that's my wife. And if you're not, the unusual name comes from the fact that when she was very small and she was asked her name, she said Lutheran Christina. And that was always part of the story because her parents talked about that she said that as such a young child. And it was very important to her growing up to know about the Lutheran Church. She participated in the nearby church children's choir. And one of the reasons why she got into the choir was that she and her sister Maria memorized every hymn in the hymnal. They knew the lyrics and they knew the numbers. They were a year apart. So they challenged each other, saying, for instance, recite hymn 160. And so the other person had to recite that hymn. Or they would recite the lyrics and say what number hymn was that in the hymnal. I can't imagine anything more elaborate than that for young children deciding that they would memorize it, the hymns, and test each other. But that's what they did. And so she had a long and very practical and in many ways spectacular life. Christina did. And that's why I wrote the book. She died of breast cancer in August on the 22nd. And while I was working on the book about the Bible, I introduced that. Now we have a phone call, which is good. Hello? Yes, it is. I'm doing fine. In fact, right now I'm trying to stream as just a practice. So it's good you called now. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, sure. That'll be part of the video because it's live now. However it works out. I'll tell you what I did so far today because I messed up yesterday. I gone over some of the things I was supposed to do. I have a channel on YouTube, and I went to that channel and I set that up. And I don't know if I did everything right, but I set it up as best I could. And then I started the Vimeo live stream, and I'm hoping it goes through to the YouTube channel because for our normal services, what we want to do, this is a congregation, we want to broadcast it live and also have the saved video. And that's our dog chiming in. Okay? Yeah. We just started. What's the first level? Is that premium? Yeah. Yeah. We haven't paid yet, but we're going to. I'll put it that way. We're on a 30-day trial, and I like it very much. But it's we were on the IBM system, and that was very simple. And but this is better, but I have to learn a lot more. So it's a big change. Yeah, well, what I tried on Sunday didn't quite work. Nobody could get it live, but once I was done, they were able to get the saved video. So that was pretty good. But what we want to do correctly is get the live part of it out right when we start on at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning. And I figured that the YouTube channel was probably the best way because I already had one with nothing in it. And if I did it right, then I think YouTube is probably the easiest way for people to get something that's live. Not into enterprise. I don't think we need that kind of complications because this is basically being done from the spare room of a rented house, and we can do everything here because I'm the one who does it. I just need to know how to do it better. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, that would be great. Mm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, you know more than I do about it. Mm. Yes. Yes, that's true. Mm. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes, but also long term. Well, I can do academic lectures, and we can have a series of them. That's another thing we're going to do since I write books. So that goes very well together. People are interested in a topic like learning Greek, and I can do lectures on that, and have the graphics and then store them in one place so people can go through the lessons. That's another sort of thing we're going to do. Hmm. Yes, that's correct. Well, that isn't a real issue now. Later on, we might have conferences among some of the leaders because we're strictly online. So that means we have members in the South, in New England, in Washington State, in California. So the best way we can get together is some form of teleconferencing. And so in that case, it would be useful to have security so we could just talk among ourselves and not make that public. No, we don't need to do that because people support it if they wish to, but we don't need to. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that varies quite a bit. It can be 20 households. It can be fewer because it depends on their schedule. But right now it would be 20 households, say, and then it could expand by being far more easy to reach, say, for through YouTube and through the saved videos. And I blog, so being able to post it on the blog and also on Facebook is those are two more convenient platforms. Hmm. Well, I think it would be good, yes, because we have some people that would never use Facebook and other people that normally do. We have some people that use YouTube a lot, and then my blog is read quite extensively by a lot of people all over. So being able to send it to the blog live would be handy if that's possible. I don't know if it is, but Facebook and YouTube together would be a good combination. There might be others that would participate later, but at this time, that isn't planned. We could grow into that. We we had a little bit about we had a little bit of that on the IBM system, and it was useless chatter. So that sort of thing doesn't work out too well. Yeah, yeah. Well, that would be possible for people who would find it useful. I never thought of that. Hmm. Yes. How much is that? How much is enterprise per year? Okay. Mhm. Okay. Okay. A what? Yeah. Yes. So we plan to use it every week all year long. Sundays first of all, but also we do a lot of midweek things, and that's also when I would do the lectures. So at minimum, it's once a week, and many times it'll be two times a week. And it could be more often. It just depends. If it's valuable to people, then I can do more of it. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. 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 I really appreciate it. Thank. Thank you. You too. I appreciate it. Yes. All right. Bye. Well, that was interesting. I had a plan to possibly talk to the Lutheran librarian while I was doing this, and I didn't catch him on the phone when I got up enough courage to get it going. And so, almost as soon as I started, someone from Vimeo called me and filled me in on a lot of things and will send me a lot of information. So, we're just getting started with this. And so that's why I decided I'd do something a little bit different and and talk about this book. This is the latest book, Lutheran Christina. There's the back cover, and it's filled with pictures. So it's a lot of fun for people that know us because that's my father going close. So they do on TV, not the best focus, but there he is holding up an award he got in front of his donuts because he was famous for his donut shop, and that's where I worked. But there's a lot about Christina and her sister Maria. One of her cousins is in one photograph. It's kind of fuzzy, but there they are coming out for the wedding. And so they're in their bridal array. And Chris is wearing her Swedish crown. The other bridesmaids' dresses. At times like that, you think, why didn't we have an 8x10 photograph made right at that moment? It's a snapshot, but the fuzziness gives it that dreamlike quality. That was 52 years ago, and these pictures do fade. Well, I'm not going to try to do a review of the whole book. I think you'll find that Christina's life was filled with a lot of dramatic things. I mean, it's interesting. She would say, "Oh, I haven't done much with my life." And I said, "Of all the people we know, can you name one person besides you who did research at Yale Medical School?" "No." I said, "I worked there too, but I was a Xeroxer. I just put journals on the machine, went, eh." That was my job. I looked up the journals and copied them. She did research for one of the professors there, and she was so valuable to that professor that Joan Fassler, she begged me to stay at Yale so she could have Christina working for her. Okay, so that was one thing. She also did research at the University of Waterloo in German literature. And then in Columbus, Ohio, she did research for an engineering firm. And nobody could believe the results she got. And I said, "I knew that because you're the best researcher in the world." She helped me with all of my books. And we could go to a book sale and she'd find just the books I wanted. She could look up things, find things, and also help me because she knew Latin, Greek, German, Russian, and she taught Spanish. Those are 5 foreign languages. And of course, I did things in academic life which lead to publishing and so forth. So what was her publishing effort? Well, one of the most famous people in medicine, psychiatry is the woman who wrote on death and dying, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. And she went to 2 of her conferences, became good friends with her at the conferences, and she would help translate words because Elizabeth Kubler-Ross was pretty German, and sometimes she couldn't get the words out that she wanted, and Chris would help with that and also go back and forth with their Germanic words too. And then she contributed to Kubler-Ross's book on death and dying. So when Chris needed the extra support of hospice at the end, she went to the Circle of Life Hospice, and she said, "Oh yeah, I knew Kubler-Ross." "You did?" Everybody kept, and every once in a while I'd hear someone say, "Do you know that Christina was with Kubler-Ross?" I mean, because Kubler-Ross is kind of long gone now, and she was one of the primary promoters of hospice, where people were cared for with dignity and with the proper medicine to block their pain, which they did very well here. And on top of that, the other prominent person was from Yale Medical School. Now, I can't say that we or she knew the other person, but think of the irony. So I said, "That's pretty impressive. You are quoted in the book that a world famous woman wrote. And anybody who's anywhere near that field knows who Elizabeth Kubler-Ross is. In fact, she's so well known, it comes up if you look up Wikipedia where, oh, she's mentioned in this movie and this show and all the stages of grief and so forth. Really extremely well known. Well, so that's a very brief overview. I'm doing this to let you know the book is available and also practicing on Vimeo. I'm hoping to improve. I'm hoping this goes through live, but I'm not sure. But at least it's like getting on a two-wheeler. I remember those days. It's very difficult at first, and then eventually it's very easy. So right now I'm on the nervous, can't wait to see how this turned out stage. It's got to improve because I'm really a newbie at this. The old system was simple. Press a button. That was it. But it wasn't flexible. And it wasn't live. Well, it was live streaming. And it's stored. Well, I'll give you that. But it was the beginning of live streaming. And we were part of it. We have 900 videos on the IBM site. 900. That's 9 with 2 zeros. So we were there when Triceratops were still roaming the earth. We were there with Ustreaming. So God's blessings to you. And if you want this book, just send me your address and phone number. No salesman will call. And a gift has been given to provide them so you don't have to send any money. Thanks. Now I will end this. Send to stream. No, I go to the end button.